Hey, 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 Outlander Cast Clan Gathering. You guys are here. Sorry for the delay. It took us a little while, but I appreciate all of you being here. Do us a favor. Can you throw up some of those hearts? You know how in live videos you could do those hearts or thumbs or wows or all those different little reactions? Those are called reactions, not necessarily emojis.
Sure.
Reactions.
I'll take it.
I'll actually show you while we're doing this because this is one of the fun things that I particularly love to do during live videos. I'm going to tell you a couple little things about it. So there are about 17,000 people inside this clan gathering, and 17,000 people don't be joining us on these videos every week. And you know what needs to happen?
That would be nice.
That needs to change. So you know how it changes? The more we interact, the more we chat, the more we throw up these, yes, I'm seeing the hearts, yes. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show it to you in a hot second. Let me pull it on up so I could show you. Boom. Okay, you can chat, Blake.
What?
Just chat. So
I'm just chatting. Okay. All right. Fine. Fair enough. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, okay. So Mary is she's doing something with the phone.
Do you see?
And she's using all the different emojis.
No, they're called reactions.
Sorry, reactions.
Can you see it?
She's reacting. Yeah, you can see it. Yep.
Okay.
You're just throwing all the focus off, which is gonna mess me up here. It's fine. We're good.
It's fine. I just messed it all up.
Focus
But
is
throwing up those reactions. So if Blake and I say something that you agree with, disagree with, our feelings won't be hurt. But reactions, like the ones I just showed you how to use, throw those up while we're chatting. It boosts the algorithm, so more of those 17,000 clan members will be able to see it. Keep the conversation going in here. What we don't want is it to be stale. So if we're boring you,
Stale
have your
sucks.
own conversations.
Yes.
Start it on up.
Say how much we suck.
No. So this, of course, is our reactionary post to our reactionary podcast, I should say, to episode 503. I forgot to take out my earrings. Wearing earrings with these headphones,
Not great,
a
Bob.
great idea.
Not great.
So we will not be interacting necessarily with the comments like we do during our listener feedback episodes. Our listener feedback episode this week will be on Thursday night, to give you guys a heads up.
Mhm.
I do not have wind ensemble rehearsal. For those of you who don't know, I'm a musician. And I'm also going to be going to the theater Wednesday night.
Oh yes, that's
the
right.
theater to go see Hello Dolly.
Because she's all high class and stuff,
Sure.
leaving her poor husband home after
And
his
can we
birthday.
get a big birthday hello? Because it is Blake's birthday tomorrow, 3/3, March 3rd. Give it on up. Feel free to head on over to Mary and Blake.
No, you got to say
here
it
on
right.
Facebook.
You got to say it right. It's March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
matcha.
Just like matcha, which right now we have at Dunkin', by the way.
So it is his birthday eve.
Hashtag not great, Bob.
I've
Our
actually
matcha.
heard the opposite.
Well, I'm telling you that
You're not a matcha person.
that it tastes like freshly cut grass.
Oh, I think that's what matcha's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, and it ain't great.
Okay.
It ain't great. So thank you everybody for joining us here in the clan, and if you're watching this later on,
Ashley's here. Angela's here. Rebecca Ann's here. Lindsay Maki. Donna. Let's see who else we got. We got Ginny's here. We got Eileen.
I was in the middle
Darcy.
of talking.
Deb. You were.
I was. Thank you also to you, everybody on YouTube, if you're watching this later on. Welcome, enjoy the show, and next time you can catch us on Facebook Live, just go to OutlanderCastClan.com on Monday nights, usually between 7 and 7:30. We are there. Oh, sorry, not OutlanderCastClan.com. Just go to the Outlander Cast Clan Gathering
On Facebook.
on Facebook, the group, and then you can catch us live there. But that is that, Marvin. You got anything else?
Denise is here too.
Oh, hello,
You guys
hello,
ready to
hello.
talk about some creepy stuff? Creepy, right?
Creepy
And
at its
stanky.
best. Yes.
Gotta do the stanky leg.
So much stank.
Stanky leg dance. Because it was a stinky foot.
I'm getting so many birthday wishes. This makes me
And
so
it's
happy.
Kendra, I might think. Was Kendra here?
Yes, she is.
Because it's Kendra. Kendra and Blake share a birthday. But
Oh,
Kendra,
that's right.
Kendra's already having, see, it's his birthday today in Japan. Kendra, happy birthday.
Yes, happy
It's
birthday
already
to you.
Tuesday where Kendra is.
Yep. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday morning. And I hope that you're having birthday pancakes or whatever the Japanese equivalent is. Because tomorrow's Blake's birthday and we need to have something special for breakfast. I don't think he realized that.
Rose says, enjoy every minute of my birthday princess week.
Thanks,
I absolutely
Ruth.
will. My birthday princess week, for everybody that, before we get into our show, for everybody that doesn't know, we have a special tradition in House Larson.
While you talk, I'll eat a carrot.
In House Larson, we celebrate birthdays for an entire week, not just a day. For Mary, it's more the month.
The month. Because it goes my birthday to Mother's Day. Then what the hell is just keep going.
So she has the birthday princess week. However, I have
month.
the month. However, I have the birthday princess week, and this is my week. So I'm a winter-born child, and I'm very excited about it. So
Happy anniversary to, who was it? Ashley. Happy early wedding anniversary.
oh yes, happy wedding anniversary. That's great for you. Okay, well, why don't we get this show on the road here?
I'll finish eating my carrot.
Because everybody on YouTube's like, dude, hurry the
you
F
don't
up.
edit this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I could, but I don't.
Do you like that I brought seltzer, but it's not super bubbly, so you won't hear it when I open?
Oh my God, when I forget what episode we were doing it last time.
I
Might
Scott
have been for
Kyle's
This Is
that.
Us. You did Scott Kyle it.
He
Oh
sent
my
me a
God.
Facebook message today.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Get the F out of
Swear
here.
to God, Scott Kyle watches so many of my makeup videos.
Wait, are you serious?
Swear to God.
Hey, Kyle,
No, he's fine.
calm down. Calm down.
I think because he's just online a lot, but
What
he'll
did he
like
say to
pop
you?
up and he sent me a message to let me know of like some appearance he's making.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was like a copy and paste message. It wasn't
Oh,
"Hi Mary, how
okay.
are
Oh,
you?"
got it.
It was "Hi, this is something I'm doing."
Oh, I see it. Well, yeah, let's do this. Let's get her done, shall we? What?
He lives in an actor's life for me. It's about him living in a castle for like a weekend.
Oh, very nice.
Yes,
very
yes.
nice. Look at him living in a castle.
It's
for
good
a
to be
weekend.
king, even for a day.
Calm down, Kyle. Sending my
No,
wife
his name
messages.
is Scott.
Yeah, but when when you send my wife messages, you refer to in your last
Oh
name,
my God.
just like you ranking.
Kendra got it too, as did Anne. We're all like, Scott Kyle messaged me. It's a copy and paste.
All right, you ready to get this going?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. All right, so as always, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have about 10 seconds worth of silence just to make sure that we get the proper room tone for this episode, and then we're going to make a podcast. All right, let's do it.
Blake.
What?
We didn't talk about what I was supposed to say in the beginning of the podcast.
What was that?
My Minute with Mary sponsorship.
Oh.
It's a new month.
Oh, that's right.
We didn't talk about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Why are we whispering?
Let's whisper so that people watching feel like
Hold on.
they're truly behind
Let me
the
stop the
scenes.
recording because we're going to sound like idiots. Okay.
You didn't write anything in there for me.
No, I wrote it in there. Minute with Mary sponsorship.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Oh, we're going to do 4D. We got to do 4D.
Okay.
Okay, we got to do 4D.
Let's do. Oh, how about lash primer?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, 4D.
Okay.
Let's get
Okay.
the people pumping here, baby.
Pump it up
Let's
like your
get the people
mascara
pumping.
wand.
All right,
Okay, I'm
okay.
ready. Do I still need to wait 7
Pump up
seconds?
my
Are we good?
mascara wand.
You're not actually supposed to pump your mascara wand. It puts air inside the product.
That's what she said.
Got it. Okay, do I need to wait 7 seconds or could you got
Nope,
the room tone?
we're ready to go. I got room
Okay.
tone. I got room tone.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
This episode of Outlander Cast is brought to you by MinuteWithMary.com. Have you seen pictures on social media of like crazy amazing lashes? Like one eye looks like wah, 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 and then the other eye is like, oh my God, is that Betty Boop? You want to know what that is?
Betty Boop.
You know what I'm talking about. She's got the freaking most amazing lashes.
Yes, she does.
What is going on?
Hold on.
Is it spam? Is it spam? Who is it?
No, it's my best friend.
You should have him on. He
No.
watches Outlander.
No, we can't do that. We got to start this all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of live podcasting. Here we go.
Why is it going through your computer?
I don't know.
Wait.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a phone call. Here we go. We're gonna try
Do
this.
I need to do that again?
Yes, we do.
It
Because
wasn't. Now it's not going to be authentic.
well, whatever. We'll bring the heat again. We'll do something different. Ready?
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
This episode of Outlander Cast is brought to you by MinuteWithMary.com. Have you ever scrolled social media and you see this picture of like one lady who has like the saddest lashes ever? It's like, wah, 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 and you're like, oh, honey.
All the time.
Except the other side of her face has lashes that look like Betty Boop. If you don't know
Yes.
who Betty Boop is, you need to just search in the GIFs of
Who
your
are-
phone.
You live on Mars if you don't
Just
know who
search
Betty
the
Boop
GIF
is.
Betty Boop. Okay. If you don't know what it is, you know what a GIF is, and just look up Betty Boop. Okay, it's like the most friggin' amazing lashes ever. So 4D Mascara is this revolutionary mascara that I sell at MinuteWithMary.com. And you may know other people who sell this stuff, and they may know the heck out of you. And they may be your friends from high school. I'm not your friend from high school, okay? I am not your friend from high school. I'm Mary Larson, who you know on Outlander Cast.
And you're the best.
And let me tell you, I'm going to stand by this makeup. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it is freaking amazing. It's by European standards, so don't have all that crap in there.
Yep.
You're going to look like Betty Boop without all that crap, with all the chemicals.
Don't want
okay?
the crap.
The entire reason
I want to be crapless.
that my company was even created was to help victims of sexual abuse, which, in case you are new to Outlander Cast, is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I love it because then you feel confident and creative and you look like Betty Boop. So if you want to have the very best mascara on the planet with a 14-day guarantee, head on over to minutewithmary.com/discount. Yeah, I know. I just dropped like a major downer bomb on you, but it's okay because we're talking about mascara and you get the discount at minutewithmary.com/discount.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask you your name. It's Frances. My mother used to call me Fanny. It's supposed to mean free. And your name is Sassenach. Only to my husband.
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone, save that lass Leon. Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the seas to
For anyone who's wondering what part Blake likes to lip sync of the choral intro, he likes to lip sync the soprano one.
I'm all about the soprano life.
I know you are. It brings me so much joy because I know what you're going for.
Yeah, I'm trying desperately.
You have such improper vowel mouth shapage right now.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what? I don't care.
I know, but if I was a chorus teacher, I'd be like, we need to work on this. We need to work on this. Hi,
We need
everybody.
to know.
Welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake, and even though my wife just made fun of me for my lack of choral skills, I never knew that I needed a horror version of Outlander in my life as much as I do now.
It's like Stephen King and Diana Gabaldon got into bed.
And they made a baby.
Let's make a baby.
They made an Outlander baby.
Yes.
Outlander / well, you know, we could talk about that later.
We
Later.
are. We're
That's
talking.
fine.
We're
That's fine.
talking.
This episode, like, desperately surprised me. I was shocked by this episode.
I was ready. Seriously, I'm ready for it to be on Netflix. Like one of Blake luckily falls asleep many nights, and I'm like up with my worrisome mind. So to calm my worrisome mind, I watch really weird shows on Netflix, like How You're Not Supposed to Eat Corn, and this other terrible show. It's actually amazing, but if you want to sleep at night, don't watch it. It's called Don't F with Cats. Okay, I'm just telling you. Like my mind goes down these things where it's just creepy, weird people. Not like it's gonna put me to sleep, but it was like I was in Netflix watching creepy, weird people.
It was a good.
But it was
good
Outlander.
documentary. It was
And
a
then
good documentary.
Claire and Jamie come in, and I'm like, I'm not on Netflix watching the bad guy with cats. I'm not on Netflix. It's okay.
While we were playing the clip here, Mary, you were making fun of me for my choice of
Yeah,
clip.
would not have been what I
so
picked.
so now let's before
I
we get
really
into all this
wanted
stuff,
you to pick the conversations that Claire and Jamie had in the beginning, the very beginning of the episode.
Which one?
Oh gosh, I'm like forgetting right now, but I remember.
Oh,
while I was-
whoa. So you're going to criticize my
No.
clip but not have an answer
But
for
in
me.
my mind, I was like, "This is what you share. This is what you share."
Do you know, would you
when
like
he
to
comes in, when he comes from home?
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
would you
and they
like
have-
would you like to know why I chose this one?
I mean,
It's because the
she
girl
says
says
free.
it's supposed to mean free, and the title is free will. So, like, I thought that was kind of appropriate to choose that clip. No, you still
no,
don't think so?
definitely makes sense. But when I saw the conversation at the very beginning of the episode, I was like, "Oh my god, I love Jamie and Claire when they're together. Please don't ever part."
You just made me. You cut me deep, Shrek.
Sorry.
You
Okay.
cut me deep.
So before we get into the rest of this episode, we want to make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast because you might be watching it at all sorts of places. You might be on YouTube, on Facebook, and you'll be like, who are these people talking about Stephen King and cats? Tell me more. Tell me more. Maybe corn. You can find us by searching Mary and Blake on all your social media choices. I wouldn't recommend TikTok because there's only one video of me playing with a mug that has Jamie and Claire on it. We need to work on our TikTok skills, obviously. But Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, search Mary and Blake. You'll find us there. You can also find out more by going to maryandblake.com where you'll see all of our other podcasts. And also, we've got some big news.
Okay, what is it?
Are you not looking at the Google Notes that you told me to say?
I am, but it's written in pink. And when
Okay,
it's written
fine.
in pink, it's
It's
you.
for me to say. Then do a drum roll, Blake. Then do a drum roll for me. Be my instrumentation. Thank you. Okay, our finale party. Our finale party for Outlander's season finale is going to be taking place in Providence. Don't let us down, folks. We want to see you there. Do you want to be part of the live podcast? Do you want to get together with other people who just want to revel in all things Outlander together? You can do that with us. We're pretty certain the date's going to be May 3rd, but we're not 100% sure, and we know that people want to book their flights. Trust us, we want to book things too, and we're getting there, but we're still waiting on final confirmation.
Right. And
But
it's
I'm
not
leaning-
even up to us. That's up to that's up to Stars.
Yeah, so we're leaning heavily into the May 3rd Sunday in Providence. Book your flights. Come on over. We're going to have more information shortly. We will tell you that first dibs go to people who are members of our Patreon community. You can find out more by going to outlandercastclan.com. They get the first tickets. And from there, we'll see where it goes, but it is going to be a blast. We've had a successful finale party the past 2 years. Those of you who've been there before, you can let people know your thoughts. We've taken a lot of feedback.
We've
from-
grown each year too,
yes,
by the way.
we've grown tremendously. We've gotten feedback and made it better each year.
Yep.
This year's going to be the best yet.
I think so. It's
Me
gonna
too.
be a cool, fun, hip, modern event in Providence, which is a cool little city, man. If you've never been here, you've never been to Providence, and you've never been to the East Coast, trust me, this is a cool little city to
Fun
check
fact,
it out.
it's my birthday. is my birthday month, as we already established
Yes.
on the live. Yeah, but it's going to be my birthday week.
Oh well, then
Y'all
your
need
gift
to be there.
Your gift to Mary should be that you are coming to the finale party.
And I'm possibly running in a 5K that morning. So if you like to run, you can run with me.
Oh my God, why are we running in 5Ks? That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Well, I love you very much. Let's get into this bad boy, shall we?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Blake,
Yes.
teach me about this episode, about stuff that's very important, but I don't usually pay attention to, but you do.
Everybody should be paying attention to this portion of our podcasts. This is actually probably the most important part of the podcast.
I don't know what I pay attention to.
What's that?
When am I going to see ADSO? That's what I'm paying attention to.
Oh, the cat. Okay, fine. This one is entitled Free Will, which is an appropriate title, I think, because this episode really has to deal with a lot of people's free wills and their ability to make choices.
Or lack thereof.
Correct. If your free will is being taken away in many instances, whether it is the Josiah and Keziah kid, or it is Roger's free will to want to go home, or if it is Jamie's free will to go after Murtagh, or people's free will to join the army. There's tons of instances of choices here that seem to make sense in terms of the characters and their arcs. That's an appropriate title. The writer was Luke Skillhaas. Now that name should be familiar to you because he co-wrote last episode with Tony Graffia, but this one he is getting single writer's credit. He has written in the past episodes including Heaven and Earth, The Bakra, Wilmington, the Deep Heart's Core. The Bakra still, You
Still
know,
haunts you, right?
that
about
scene
Stephen
of
King.
Galus, that scene of Galus getting out of the pool of blood. Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. And the Deep Hot's core, and also Between Two Fires, which we
The
just
Deep
talked,
Hot's core.
which we just talked about. And the director is Jamie Payne. Now, this is Jamie's first credit for Outlander.
How do you think Jamie feels having the name Jamie doing Outlander?
I think he feels like a stud.
right?
Yeah, I
He's
think
like, I'm the real Jamie.
this phrase a kid can get the hell out of here.
Seriously.
The pain has arrived. The pain's in town. Now, Jamie Payne has actually got some big boy pants when it comes to directing.
Okay.
He has directed many a TV show also, but including shows like Call the Midwife, Da Vinci's Demons, The White Queen, Doctor Who, The White Princess, The Alienist,
Oh my goodness.
Luther. He's also directed one of the bane of our existence, Mary, New Amsterdam on NBC.
Stop.
Yes. Oh, for those of you who love New Amsterdam,
I mean,
I'm
we've
sorry.
actually never watched an
Don't
episode,
care, don't
but it comes
care.
after This Is Us when we're emotionally ravaged and we're like, we can't handle a medical drama at this point.
No, it has the guy from the Blacklist, and it's just not good.
It's okay.
It's just not good. And obviously, he's directed this episode of Outlander. He's got one more episode of Outlander to go,
Okay.
and I think that's going to be the next one. So before we do all the rest of this stuff,
Yep.
we got kilt ratings and we got GBGs.
Oh my goodness, the kilt rating. So, rating a show, rating an episode is fun. It can be a little difficult, and it can also like rattle people's feathers.
Mhm.
But I'm here to tell you that this episode for me is a 4.5, which is very low for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy smokes.
I will tell you in a moment.
That is
but
some,
it's a 4.5 for
that's
me.
some fighting words. You
But,
want to
but
know
mind you,
why?
it still means that it's an A minus
Yeah.
or like a solid A.
That's a solid.
It's a scale from 1 to 5.
No. That's
It's not like I gave it a
that's
2.
a B. That's a B plus. That's a
It's
B
A
plus.
B plus would. Well, a 5 is A plus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So yeah, it's a B plus. You gave it a B plus.
No, I gave it an A or an A minus.
No. I'm out. I'm out on that grading system.
Okay.
For me, I'm giving this one. I'm making a snap judgment here. I think I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna go 4.45.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, a 4.45.
You're higher than me. No.
No, I'm not. You're higher than me.
You were originally higher than me in the Google Doc. You had
I am.
4.59, which
That's
is
why.
ludicrous.
That's why I said.
Just do it to the tenths.
No,
to the hundredths.
No. You got to be precise when it comes to these kilt ratings, and I'm gonna go 4.45. And the
Okay.
reason why, you know what? Maybe I'll kick it up a notch. 4.49. Okay,
You
4.49.
should be higher than me in this. I'm just saying.
No, I should not be, and I'll tell
'Cause
you
when
why.
you hear my reasoning on why it's low, you're gonna be like, I should have been higher than Mary.
Okay. Well, why? What's your GBG?
Okay,
What
so
do
my
you got?
GBG, my good, my bad, my great. Okay, now look at everyone on Facebook is saying that's so low, and that's why I laugh because 4.5 is still very high. 4.5 would still get you scholarships to college.
Yes,
anyway.
it would.
Okay.
I mean, the lesser colleges. I mean,
Okay.
you're talking like, what? I'm not sure.
Are you throwing some punches at my school?
Yeah, like no, I'm not your college. I'm throwing shade at like Dartmouth.
Blake.
For those who are listening right now, I went to St. Anselm College, and there's a big rivalry between St. Anselm College and Dartmouth and UNH. 4.5 will get you into UNH. That's what would happen.
We'll be back. All right. My good for this episode was, can I please just sit inside Claire's stinky house? Because
Yep.
it looks gorgeous. It may smell of moldy bread and potentially a chopped up body. I don't know what they did with them. Is anyone else concerned? Where'd he go? Did they actually bury him somewhere? Where's the jabroni from last week's episode? Don't know. But let me tell you, that house is gorgeous. And I just love the people in the background who are like throwing away Claire's slop, painting her walls, and she's just checking on her moldy bread. And it is gorgeous. The paint, the color. I love it all. I just want to sit there without breathing. That brings me to my bad, okay? This episode, if it had a scratch and sniff, get me out of here! Get me out of here! Woo. I don't think I'll be able to rewatch this episode that
man.
often, friends. And here's the thing, like, there are very few episodes of Outlander that I don't like to rewatch. You know, I mean, very obviously, like it's ones that make me very emotionally unstable. This one, however, it wasn't that it was so suspenseful.
Mhm.
It's that Claire's acknowledgement, like the way that Katrina Balfe pretty much could not handle any of the smell, and yet they still slept there.
Oh God, what are you thinking?
All I kept thinking was like, where did you put the maggots? Did you cut out the ceiling? Where is the air freshener? Is there, what's the spray that gets rid of stuff? And it makes me concerned because there's so many chemicals. The blue stuff, Febreze. Where's the Febreze?
Does anybody have any Febreze? Hey, anybody got the Febreze over here?
So it's not that I sat here not loving the plot, not loving the characters, not loving all of this. It's that I was so emotionally uncomfortable with the smell aspect, which you can't even smell in it. And like maggots and like burnt foot. For those of you who don't know, I don't like bloody gross things, and I actually handled last week kind of better. Maybe this is just because last week I was thinking of how smelly the body is, and now I'm still worried about the body smell. Basically, I just need some fresh air, okay? When they're out in the woods talking about Bonnet, I'm all in. You bring me inside this stinky house with goat poop and all the stuff hanging down from the
Land the
ceiling, it
plane,
made me
Helen.
very uncomfortable. And that is, honest to God, what brought it down, is that I don't, it's going to take me some time to be rewatching these episodes multiple times, my
Okay.
friends.
You have a great Harry Potter reference in here, and you didn't even go for
Oh my
it.
God, sorry, because I
You
was
didn't even go for it.
all I could picture was Bathilda Bagshot. Harry Potter friends, you know.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Spoiler alert, when Harry and Hermione go back to Godric's Hollow, his, birthplace, and Bathilda Bagshot's there, and she's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and out comes Nagini, because the snake was inside of her. That's all I was picturing, was just like nasty smell. Nagini, the snake's gonna pop out and bite you, so watch out, Harry Potter. Talking all sorts of parcel tongue. Okay,
Okay,
so
what's your great?
okay, my great is just that I love Jamie Fraser.
Mhm.
Like, I love him so much. And this episode is just my Jamie. Like, this is my Jamie in so many different moments, like coming home and just loving on Claire and just sprinkling in these moments of faith and his strength in moral character. And I too would have killed him.
Yes, you would have.
Like, Claire, I actually have Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. Claire, stop it. This is my bad. My bad on my notes. Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. Claire, stop it. Stop it. Stop going upstairs.
Oh, yes.
Like, my great is Jamie. I loved Jamie in this episode. I felt like this was my Jamie that sometimes I've missed, and I love him.
Yep.
Period.
Is it my turn? You want to keep going about Jamie? You keep
Uh,
going.
I'm all set.
Are you on the Jamie train?
Yep.
All right. My good. Lots of new tidbits in the visual vocabulary of this show. Whether it was the time lapse for the bread, that's a very Breaking Bad thing to do. Like having the bread just mold over it. It's just have it time play real fast on one particular thing. Very Breaking Bad-ish. The hazy eyes of Beardsley. Plus, the show is really leaning in to how versatile it could be. For me, I always say my favorite show, obviously, is Lost.
We have to go back, Kate.
And the reason why my favorite show is Lost, of course, because of the mythology and the characters, but Lost was a show that could be so many different types of shows all at once. It could be a procedural. It could be a medical show. It could be a mystery show. It could be an action show. It could be thriller. It could be horror. It could be suspense. It could do all of those things all at once. And in this case, Outlander is really leaning into, for the past couple of episodes, the versatility that it has.
Yeah.
Having the inspiration for this particular episode clearly was suspense and horror. And as a matter of fact, I gave this episode a 4.49, and what saved it for me was the fact that it
Saved it. Mind you, that is still so high.
well, what it created that that number for me, and why I felt like it could have been lower if not for this thing, was that it felt like an early episode from like season 1 of The Walking Dead. You remember that?
Yep.
When things would happen, but it was very slow. It was very
Something
quiet.
that like the door pounding frightens you so much, and really it's just a goat. But it frightened you enough where you were like, "What is that?" The suspense.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. It's the suspense, and Outlander has never really quite done that before. So the fact that they could lean into this and lean into it as well as they did, this is a craft kind of episode for me. The bad, I was not a fan of Fanny, if you will. Not a big fan. Was I supposed to feel bad for her? Was I supposed to hate her? Was I supposed to despise the other Beardsley
I think
guy?
you're supposed to be a little conflicted.
In like, do I want him dead? Do I not want him dead? Do I want him to be killed by Fanny? Is
think you're
Fanny
supposed
a
to
good
feel that way.
person? Yeah, right. So like,
Yeah.
I just wasn't a big fan. But the funniest part and the most unintentionally funny part of the entire episode, Mary, I know you know what I'm gonna say, is when Jamie's looking around the house and he's looking in the window and he turns around and sees Claire, and all of a sudden you see his face go, oh, and then there's Fanny's big mug just in this window, and like
Blake literally was like, "What was that?"
and the music from Bear, as much as I love hashtag Bear Flare, by the way, get your hashtag Bear Flare.
Also does the music to The Walking Dead.
Right. Get your hashtag Bear Flare shirts at the Mary and Blake store. It's amazing. Bear does the music for The Walking Dead, and in The Walking Dead you have a lot of jump scares and vroom, that kind of thing, and you got that. But the way that it was shot and the way her face was looking.
I think because this is something that you're not used to on Outlander.
No,
because this whole
no.
episode was supposed to make us uncomfortable. We are supposed to be completely like out of our element, like icky. What are we doing? Is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? Do we trust this person? Do we not trust this person? Like we were all as a collective audience supposed to feel this way, supposed to be like, well, what are you doing in there?
Right.
Random
I
woman.
know, but I just the way that it was shot.
You laughed.
And I we both laughed. We both laughed.
I laughed at your
pretty
laughing.
heartily. All right, and then my great was also Jamie.
Really?
Jamie Payne.
Oh, the real Jamie.
The real Jamie. the real Jamie in town. Okay? Jamie frackin' Payne. Jamie Payne,
Okay.
I think he is going to be declared my new Binky of the season.
And elaborate what Binky means for people who may not know.
It's just someone who never does anything wrong. For many seasons, my Binky in Outlander was Frank. Frank was my Binky. He couldn't do anything wrong.
I mean, he could.
No, he couldn't because
He
he's
did.
my Binky. See, in a Binky, you pacify it for a baby.
So, yeah.
It soothes the baby.
It could be dirty. It could be
Could be
dropped
dirty.
on the floor.
Whatever. It's still soothing.
Could be broken.
Could be broken. You could be half bitten off.
Oh,
You
those
know?
are the worst choking hazards.
It's a Binky. Just
Okay.
like in my sports life.
Okay.
Tom Brady, my Binky.
Okay.
He can't do it. He's a saint. The man's a saint. Leave him out of this. Okay.
So Jamie Payne.
So Jamie Payne is my new Binky, and his shots, and especially the ones like Claire when she was looking out of the house in the Beardsley house, and she goes from light. She's looking out, and the light is covering her face, and she comes out away from the light. Oh my God! Or Jamie coming home to the big house.
Oh.
All of those shots, the big panoramic shots,
Yes.
and the use of color. Sitting at the fire with Jamie as it's his dark silhouette among all of his people. He's the central figure, and then also again the use of color, and it's a very artful look to this show. Something that this show really hasn't had. It's been very flat for the past couple of seasons. It hasn't been cinematic at all for the past couple of seasons, except for a couple of shots here and there. This one, very artful, very, very purposeful. The use of color, whether it's opposites of the color wheel between the reds and the oranges and the blues, or the greens and the reds, even blacks and whites, using those things against each other, make it a depth-filled look. It gives the frame depth. And not only that, there was even, I feel like, a different texture to the frame. It felt more clear. It felt more clear. It didn't feel grainy. It didn't feel like, I don't know. I know they're shooting digital, obviously, but it just felt like it's almost like when you turn the sharpness up on your TV and it gets just a little bit more detail. It felt more alive. It didn't feel flat.
This episode was very
it didn't
cinematic,
feel flat.
yes.
So I quite liked that. And that is my good and my bad and my great. So what do you think, Marvin? What else stands out to you this episode? What's the thing that just gets your needle moving?
I mean, are we getting into the show, into the episode?
Yes.
We delving in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. I mean, there's so much to talk about at the Beardsley house. But before we do, let's talk about the Ridge.
I'm a big fan of the big house.
Huge.
I am
Not
all
what I
in.
pictured.
I don't
and
care.
I addressed this last week and on listener feedback. But of course, I'm watching this through the show's lens, and it is stunning. It is so fun to be there and to see the community that it takes to make it all possible.
Absolutely.
I loved even just the title card with the blurred out Marcelly practicing her sewing of some kind of animal, I would assume.
Sure.
It looked like. So while we're there, of course, and Jamie comes home to this fabulous greeting to Claire. And he thanks God that she's there. Oh my goodness gracious. That was like right away. I was like, there's my great. There's my great.
Talking about getting the needle moving. Oh my goodness. That was good stuff.
Well, and mind you, like, I think the show is honestly just so great when these two are together and we're having these tender little moments. And I love that Claire like just didn't I admire Claire because Claire didn't do what I would do. I would just be like, oh my gosh, you're home. Here's a quick kiss. And then I'd go back to sleep.
It'd be like half full of drool.
Yeah.
And like
Claire, ever so glamorously, like gets out of bed and shares a drink with Jamie and catches up. And, it was a really lovely, intimate moment. He checks in the fire. And those are moments that I truly love in this series. I talk about it all the time. I could just hang out on the Ridge all the time and just be hanging out in their house watching them like a creep. Like Fanny. But to see their dynamic and then to have her say, like, I am coming with you, felt so good because that was something that felt so wrong in the last episode, is that these two need to be together. And so having that going forward makes me really happy for the show.
Well, this is a much larger conversation, I think, within context, in that the show has made it a point, especially since season 3, to separate Jamie and Claire. Whether even if they were separated by time or they were separated in context of the story that they were actually in, whether it was Jamie being on a boat or Claire being on a boat going to save other dudes, or it's the two of them in one of them in Jamaica, one of them is somewhere else, and then one of them is off on trails, and they've made it a point to separate these two constantly.
Yes.
So, and even in the first 2 episodes of this season, there's not a lot of dynamic between the two, even though they are in the same, for the most part, the same premises. They don't have a whole ton of interaction. And as with anything, how can you invest in any relationship if the people that you're trying to invest in don't have an interaction? So I think it's positive for this episode to have these two together and have them together in such an intimate setting. In intimate, I don't mean like, oh, let's go bang. I mean intimate, like this is goats and we're in one building. I mean, this is, when you look at it, this is a bottleneck episode. This is one space. Correct. Essentially. I mean, within the framework of Outlander, as much as Outlander is capable of making a bottleneck episode, this was it. So I love the idea of these two coming back together and being with each other for so long. And this is why we watch Outlander, right? I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Let's be honest. It's Jamie and Claire.
Yes.
For me, it ain't Roger and Bree. It ain't singing #by Ian. It's not. In as much as I love them, it ain't Frank or Myrta. It is Jamie and Claire.
Agreed.
That's what it comes down to for me. I know I said it before. I love the big house. I just love it.
I know.
The woodworking. Did you see those built-in cabinets?
Oh, honey.
Like
They do not make houses like that
no,
nowadays.
no. Like, I don't know if Jamie's building these cabinets by himself or
Do
whatever.
you see all the people helping?
Man,
Jamie
house,
is not. Jamie is out getting the militia ready. He is not necessarily.
that house now in today's market, easily, where it is on the river, whatever, easily $1 million. Easily.
Oh, Yeah, if you were
Guaranteed.
yes, 100%.
Guaranteed.
So while we're there on the ridge and we have these tender moments, we get to see Fergus again.
Yes.
And he has a little bit of a correspondence with Jamie, setting things up for a future episode. And Jamie is asking him to have something written up to really build this militia.
Mm-hmm.
And Fergus, not so slyly, grabs a piece of paper that
Yeah.
obviously has writing.
I've got an outlandish theory on this.
So are you able to drop it now because we're talking about it?
No, I'm not dropping
Okay.
it right now.
How did you feel about that? Or is this being saved for your
This is
outlandish
being
theory?
saved for my outlandish theory.
Okay.
Sorry.
So-
Sorry,
so
ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to wait for that one.
we've got that going on. And we also have Marcelly and Claire walking around checking out these different moldy pieces of bread.
Mm-hmm. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Even though they still had the glass covers on it for the Stats for Nerds people, it still had mold.
Yeah.
It still had mold.
And I loved that Claire was quizzing her. It's one of the things that, obviously, like Claire had residence and had to be teaching while also being a surgeon. And it was just neat for her to now be able to have this role that she really didn't get to have. I mean, she left rather young in her career, So I love that she's able to not only have an assistant, an apprentice,
Mhm.
but another female apprentice in the medical field. And you can kind of see that joy of how we're watching Marcelly figure it out.
Yep.
This is obviously like embellishing the character of Marcelly compared to the books in this way, I think is a really exciting choice.
It's a very smart choice.
Yeah. And I'm
Because,
loving
like we
it.
said last episode, it gives her something more to do than just being concerned mom or concerned wife or pain in the ass of Claire. There was this great moment too between the two where Claire says, pig skin is a good substitute for human skin.
Mhm.
Like, that was just really cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, keep practicing your stitching. Someone's obviously gonna need to do that. Like, that. I don't know. It's just really cool. Like,
Yes.
you don't see that kind of dynamic between the two, and getting people's interactions that you don't normally get is a beauty to a show like this, because we're already now in season 5, and for the past number of seasons, we've been introduced to a bunch of people that just they don't matter. They don't matter, and it is what it is.
They're gone.
The talking coconut guy, he's gone. He ain't never coming back. Or whoever. I mean,
The King of France.
The King of France, gone. He ain't never coming back. But you have these
I
consistent
bring
characters.
him up because you love to talk about him.
Oh God, that guy. That whole season, that half of the season that, according to the Mary and Blake commandments, shall not be named. You don't get a lot of interaction between Claire and Marcelly. You just don't. And having these two be together, doing the things that they're doing, it's good for the show because it makes you care about them.
You
And
know who I care about so much?
Who?
Jermaine.
why?
Oh my God, because he's like the only kid that can really talk, and he's like Grandpa, and that's what they say on Daniel Tiger. Daniel Tiger, that's what he calls his Grampy.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry.
And I just love that it's like this wee little boy running around the house, just bringing all sorts of joy to everybody. So I don't know. I just get a kick out of it. But I agree. Seeing this family, the Fergus Marcelly family, is bringing a lot of moments of joy and for me. So I just wanted to point that out.
One of the things I just have to get it out of the way.
Yes.
The
Do.
birds. What are we
Feed
feeling
the
about what are we
birds.
feeling about the birds?
Toppins a bag. The birds, to me,
It was. Do you feel like it was a little aggressive?
it was aggressive until I saw the after show discussion. Matt Roberts loves passenger pigeons. So if you missed out on the after show discussion with him and Meryl Davis, then you're probably like, why are there so many birds? And to me, I was thinking, so when I watched it, it made me feel a lot like all the bird references that have happened before in Outlander. You know,
Mhm.
Outlander before has had
A lot of
animal
imagery.
references. And then I was also thinking about how spirits, like the ghosts of all the prior wives,
Yep.
are like released.
Yep, absolutely. And
So-
it's funny that you say that because, obviously I'm a huge nerd. So I was like, okay, these birds, like passenger pigeons, like what are we doing? Like this was like, again, an aggressive amount of birds.
Correct.
So I said there has to be an ulterior motive here. Like what are they trying to do? And passenger pigeon actually plays a religious role for many Native American tribes. And The Wyandot people, or the Huron people, believed that every 12 years during the Feast of the Dead, the souls of the dead changed into passenger pigeons, which were then hunted and eaten. So, Mary, I think you're on the right track there. Fanny says that all the wives are dead in the forest, and as soon as Jamie, pulls the trigger and kills your boy Beardsley, you get all
He's
these.
not my boy.
You get all these birds flying up out of the trees, out of the forest. So it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing.
It was an interesting choice they made for that moment. Yeah.
Yep, that was brought to you by the Dr. Wikipedia, by the way. So yeah, even though it was an aggressive amount of birds, I did do some more research, and they did have those big kind of flocks everywhere. So when they did transport themselves, they were leaving in like these big kinds of clouds of birds. So it's not out of the question, but it is fairly shocking to see as just someone who doesn't know
As a
anything
show
about passengers.
watcher watching this, I can appreciate
Yes.
that, it is quite jarring and out of the blue, and it just goes to show you that show watchers, I mean, everybody will benefit from watching the after the episode things. But I also liked that. I liked how he said there are things that were during that time period that aren't here now that we can show and we can utilize with CGI. So
Sure.
it's great.
I would say that this episode, it actually reminded me quite a bit. If you remember Game of Thrones
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
with Craster and all of his wives,
Yes.
and how they were just kind of homely, and they were like, or what's his name? The guy, the guy who plays Filch in Harry Potter, who was the head of the twins. Well, whatever. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Okay.
And but also married to The Walking Dead. Like seriously.
You had all the different shows going on.
I did. There was
plus
there was
some Stephen King interwoven.
plus some Stephen King going on here as well. This episode was, like I said, a very interesting episode. It was something that Outlander never really quite does, and I give them credit. They did it very well.
Agreed.
The problem and why I gave it a 4.49 is it feels very side questy.
So here's what I'll say to you. Now, because here's the thing. I know I'm going to get flack for being like, you gave it a 4.5. It's not that it was a bad episode. It was an exciting episode. And I will tell you, show watchers, have faith, have patience, Padawans. Okay?
Oh, Walder Frey is the name. Thank you, Robin, on Facebook Live. I appreciate you.
So, have faith. All right? For me, it honestly was just because I just kept thinking about all the smells.
Right,
And
but-
that they slipped by that guy's rotting foot.
But then again, we have this is the debate. I think this is the debate that Outlander has to face. Just because it's in the books, and just because maybe we should have faith that they're going to come back, which they probably will, which is also an outlandish theory of mine. Just because that happens doesn't mean that you've done that you've attached them to the story properly. Like, this felt like Monster of the Week. It felt like a pretty good episode of the X-Files. That's what it felt like. Like Jamie and Claire were Mulder and Scully going in.
Well, when you have those days that something really crazy happens out of the blue, they haven't had a really crazy out of the blue experience for quite some time. Whereas I feel like that used to happen all the time to this couple.
Yeah, but when they walked into that door and they're walking around and then he sees her face, all I could think of was this.
All I could think about was don't F with cats.
All I could think of was just X-Files. This is what it feels like. And then the guy that's up in the attic.
Don't watch that show, guys.
Don't F with cats. It's a good documentary. It really is. So that's what brings it down for me. Only because
it was
what are we
supposed
doing
to.
here?
It was supposed to. So here's what I'll say. Have faith.
Okay.
Have faith.
Yeah, but again, that's the
Gotta
debate.
have faith.
Just
But it was a great episode.
Yes.
It was fun and it was exciting
Yes.
and it was different. And you're supposed to feel uncomfortable and you're supposed to be sitting there thinking about the morality. And yes, you have free will, but what does that mean you get to do with it? And what are you going to choose? So let's delve into like the bigger aspect of this. Because what I have written down in my notes right now is how much I love someone's boots. So let's get
Let's
on
do
with
it.
like the meat of free will.
Okay, sure. Do you want to make a comment about boots, or are we done with the boots?
Just oh my god, the boot
Like
shots.
Jamie's boots?
Everybody's boots.
All the boots.
But particularly Jamie's boots. They're just so good.
There's so much Payless shoes happening right now.
No, not Payless.
No,
Someone
not
worked
Payless?
really hard on those boots.
Oh,
Those
okay.
boots are going to last you a long time.
Well, if you want to get into the meat of it, I actually have some really good meat stuff, which is, everybody talks about themes and how Outlander is thematic, and yes, it is thematic, and everybody says, "Oh, yay, the theme is love or brotherhood or fighting for freedom." Like, no, themes are generally, or at least should be, based on questions, because when you have a theme, you're asking yourself a question. You're asking the viewer to engage with that question. And that is how you transmit a proper theme. What is the question that you're asking what's the purpose of what we're watching? What is the question?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the question for this particular theme is, what is the cost of revenge? What is the cost of revenge? What do you do to get revenge? How does it affect you? And I love me some Chernobyl. You know the show Chernobyl?
Yeah, I watched it with you.
Yes, you do. But it was more of a rhetorical question for the listener and the viewer on Facebook Live and YouTube right now. Chernobyl. One of the things that it did, and it was written by Craig Mazin, who is absolutely one of my favorite writers going. One of the first lines in the entire show was, "What is the cost of lies?" And that was the theme for the entire run of the show. What is the cost of lives? Jared Harris says it into the recording. # spoiler alert. The same thing here. What is the cost of revenge? The revenge against Stephen Bonnet. The revenge against Beardsley. And how does that affect each character? Whether it is the wife who takes her revenge, does things that she probably wouldn't normally do. She's burning the dude's foot. She's barely keeping him alive with spiders in his food, which, by the way, like, no.
I know.
Oh, no. No.
They did such a good job on making us feel uncomfortable in this episode. They did such a great job.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely
I'm so
agree.
uncomfortable.
Or even Jamie now. Jamie talks about his revenge against Blackjack Randall, how he finally could find some real peace afterwards, but he had to kill a man. And the same thing goes here. What about Bree's revenge against Stephen Bonnet? What does that mean for Roger? What does that mean for Jamie, by the way? All of these things are true. And
I'm going to pretty much have to say interesting for the rest of this episode as you vamp. Yeah.
So having said that, all of these things, the cost of revenge has made people do things, especially in this episode, clearly, that they would never normally do. I mean, this girl, Fanny, is killing a man. And granted, like, the man beat her. The man boxed the Josiah or Keziah, whatever something Aya's ears. Not a good dude and doesn't want to be forgiven. But is it right what she did? And that's a question I pose to you, Mary. Is it right what she was doing to this man?
You're asking me?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it right that she was trying to, like, completely torture him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends upon whose opinion of right or wrong. Like, are you asking me if it's something I would have done?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I probably would have just let him die. I don't think I would have tortured him because it was so stinky. He probably would have been like, this guy's dead. He's terrible. He's not moving. I don't know what to do. If I was in her position, I don't want to sound like a mean, terrible person, like I would kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very much with Jamie when Jamie's like, why wouldn't we just let him die? He's a terrible human being who's going to have a terrible time at life, and Claire says, like, we can cut off his foot, and does he want that? And then Jamie gets to ask him. And then Jamie has to juggle with all of that, juggling with the fact that, like, okay, I'm going to give this man, like, the option. I mean, gosh, if you didn't love Jamie Fraser before this episode, it rings so true in this episode for so many reasons about why I just adore this man. He's a fictional character. I know that, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, if I were in this situation right away, I would have been like, he's gonna have a poor kind of life, and he's a terrible human being, and like, what is there for him now? And for him to say, like, I would even do this for a dog. Like, this is not
this
isn't
right.
the right kind thing.
Right. And these are the and again, we talked about it earlier. The kind of in earlier episodes, the kind of questions that Outlander is bringing up for itself. For example, earlier in this episode, I almost played the voiceover that Claire had, which was, I'm doing all these things and I am testing history. I'm testing fate, and I don't care. Essentially, that's what she was saying. And I'm begging it to make a decision on me and what's happening. So I'm going to keep all these people safe. This is a moral quandary that Claire has. Is her work doing like in Star Trek they call it the space-time continuum, right? Is Claire screwing with the space-time continuum? And her zero abandon about the space-time continuum, and the prime directive, also that's what it's called. Her ZFGs about the prime directive is excellent for this show. It's not about I'm specifically trying to change history, which was season 2. Like, what they wanted was to change history. What they want now and what they need now is to just survive. And they're doing everything they can to survive. And that's one of the things that's brought up in the moral quandaries of the show. But
Agreed.
Other moral quandaries of this show too are real layers for Jamie. How will he handle his own life, and bringing up the ending with his dad?
Oh my god.
Like,
oh my gosh.
That's something that we
good. I love that they made this a part of it.
Yes.
For Jamie to talk about his dad. Did his dad suffer like this?
Right.
That Jenny never told him. Like, is this something that could have happened to him? Because we forget. We've spent so much time with Jamie away from his family that that was his dad. And God, it just hit me.
And it brings
really hit me.
Right, and it brings you back to Jenny. It really,
Yeah.
because he questions, did she tell me the truth? These are all real questions that the show hasn't asked us, the viewers, yet. And I don't know if we knew that. Like, I know that his dad died of a stroke or something to that effect, but I didn't know it was like this, right? And
What do you mean like this?
I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know the kind of death that he had. Like, didn't he have a stroke at Jamie's?
So are you saying this, or are you saying that Jamie is saying this?
No,
So
I'm saying
that's
this.
what Jamie was saying. Jamie
Right.
was wondering, because Jamie didn't get to know. You know what I mean? Like, Jenny didn't get to say. That's what he's saying in this episode. Is he didn't hear from Jenny how long he would have suffered for
Sure.
if it was like this. And
My
I haven't lost a parent yet.
Mhm.
And it's one of the things that I know is going to be hard for me, as it is for anybody. Like, when you hear about a situation or you see someone who has something that your parent died from,
Sure.
like you lost your mom from a brain aneurysm. So if anyone ever talks about that, it must hit you in a very sensitive way that I personally can't speak about yet.
Sure.
And to see it portrayed on screen, it's like,
Yeah, and the fact that he has the resolve to ask Claire, if this happens to me and I have to end up like Beardsley over here, just end it. Like, because I can't do this. You're going to do the right thing, right? Like, and she says, I'll do what I must, which is, to me, it's foreshadowing, like maybe years down the road from stories that none of us know yet, even book readers. There seems to be some serious foreshadowing happening here. at least in my estimation. But another great conversation that finally has to happen between Jamie and Claire, and again, which is why this is so important. These two were together in this house alone with, crazy lady and half dead dude. Is Claire finally has to look at the world and say, she even says it, like, what kind of world is this?
Yeah.
What kind of, what are we doing? Why are we even bringing people
A baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what kind of world is this? And do they, as Claire and Jamie, have a responsibility to send Roger and Jemmy and Brianna back? Do you think they have a responsibility to do that?
I think that they have a responsibility to vet this option. Obviously, Bree and Roger have their own free will to make this choice.
Right.
And so Claire can give her advice, and she's now voiced it to Jamie, and she's voiced it to Roger. She just this is the beauty of this episode, and a great title for it.
Sure, absolutely. We got through all the plot stuff, with the two brothers, getting their indentured papers. They're now going to be owned by Jamie. Jamie and Claire all of a sudden have this baby that's going to be tagging along with them.
Got a lot more people going to that big house.
Man,
to the ridge.
that's some good plot stuff. I think I got an outlandish theory about that
Okay.
too. What else is happening here? I mean, and that's the real issue. Roger is going to gather people. His metal is already being tested by the people who he's trying to coerce to join.
Saying, you have my word
Right.
that they'll be back.
Right. And that does not portend well for our boy Roger Mack. There's some foreshadowing there as well. So the issue with this episode is both great and odd in that what it did, the craft in this episode was spectacular.
Agreed.
I even think that the writing for Jamie and Claire, while Outlander usually tips its hand pretty easily and loves to hold your hand through its episode run, and it does it pretty comfortably. It's comfortable living in that world. Like, okay, we're gonna bring you for a journey. Hold my hand, and here it is. It speaks a lot, but the craft of the writing here is really good. And then also the directing and the lighting and the cinematography, spectacular stuff.
It was.
And I got a chance to think about this. Like last episode, a lot of people were really divided by it. And this episode, a lot of book readers are like, this is amazing. It's great. It's the best thing. It's the best episode this whole season. And I think show watchers are like, yeah, but like, okay, it's X-Files.
Well, and this is why I think it would be really fun this season for us at the end of the season to come back and rewrite the episodes.
Right.
What do you think?
Well,
do you want to do that?
I would absolutely love to.
Nice.
And I think part of that, and I was driving home today from work. I was driving home and like, why was so many people pissed off last episode? And then like a lot of book readers were pissed off about last episode. And then like a lot of show watchers were like, yeah, but this episode wasn't that great either. I mean, it was good, but what are we doing? And how can like a bunch of really smart, like generally educated people look at the same piece of art and say, that's great, or that really sucks and I hate it?
What do you mean? Because it's art, and that's the whole point.
Right. And it's our relationship to that art.
So, for example, like, I know people are going to be like, ew, Mary, 4.5, what's wrong with you? It's because I just need to get over the stinky part.
Sure.
It's not that it was poorly written. It's not that it was poorly directed.
Right.
Or acted. I think all of that was extraordinary.
Right.
I'm saying that for me, I was so comfortable. So job well done, team. That to me, it's not one that I'm looking forward to on like just keeping on the background during my rewatches. Whereas I had a lot of fun at the wedding. And I think that
Sure.
frequently when I'm judging my kilt rating, it's more upon either how it, I don't know.
Well, see, and this is
why
the
I'm
real
probably
question.
going to revamp it.
Well, this is the real question. I mean, we're getting at 53 minutes here, so I want to wrap this up in a little bit. But the real question here is what is our relationships to each of the episodes, right? And like what I've come to learn podcasting so much about television and film is, what do you love and why do you love it? What are the things that you like when you talk about something that you hate? Like it's not good. Like it's not a conversation. It's just stuff that you hate. But if you talk about the things that you love and you focus on the things that you love about them, there may be more things that you love in one episode than you do the others. Like I loved the first episode. I loved it because that is what grabbed me. There is some really cool stuff about this particular episode, but it doesn't grab me in terms of Outlander on the whole. It grabbed me because the craft was really good and it was a fun little experiment. Like I like seeing horror-based Outlander.
Yeah.
You know, it like season 1 Walking Dead Outlander. Like that's really cool. I can get on board with that. But I'm giving it such a low rating because what does it do for the overall story? And as a show watcher, I don't know. And it feels like a side quest. And that's my relationship to this episode.
And it reminds me about shows that we haven't podcasted about, where we might watch it, not knowing what's coming. Because you were like, okay, that was really cool, but like, what just happened? You know, that was your reaction after the end of this episode. And
Sure.
I know, for example, in Game of Thrones, because Blake read the Game of Thrones books and I didn't. We did not podcast about the series early on.
We did the final season.
Yeah. But I would sit there for some episodes being like, so what's going on? And really that episode was important later down the line. But in the time of viewing it, it didn't jive with me in the sense that I thought it would.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I'm guessing that that's what it's like. So that's that.
All right. Yeah. You ready for the outlandish theory of the week?
I am. I'm
All right.
very excited to hear this.
Well, I got a couple
so I
of
can
them.
throw some interestings up in the air.
All right. Let's do it. All right. So this ain't the last time you heard from your girl Fanny. Okay. She's coming back. There's some way, somehow she's going to come back. And I bet she comes back around with the baby daddy. Like, they're going to want to reclaim the daughter. And at that point, Claire's going to be like, dude, you gave her up. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, you cannot have your daughter back. You just abandoned her. Yeah, you left her the deed. And yeah, sure, you left us the indentured papers. That's great. That's great and all, buddy. But you left your kid. And so you've essentially given her up. And we're going to take care of that. And, like, either Claire and Jamie, like, give the kid to someone else in town. And, you know, your girl Fanny is like, hey, where's my kid? And they're like, sorry, bro, we don't know where she is anymore. You left her. There's going to be a conflict there. Maybe not soon, but I think maybe relatively later on. And then also, notice that Fergus writes on a paper that was on Claire's table when she was doing stuff that she shouldn't have been doing when Jamie was out of town, and she didn't have enough time to clean it up because Jamie showed up in the middle of the night. And he takes out the notes and he writes the notes down for the orders for the advertisement for the paper, and it looks like the notes that she was taking for Dr. Rawlings, and all of the advice that Dr. Rawlings was
She's
giving.
taking lots of notes in that room.
Yeah,
taking
but
notes on
this looks like the lines that she was writing for Dr. Rawlings.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like when that kind of thing hits the papers, that's going to be a problem for Jamie and Claire too. So this is going to cause some more conflict for Jamie and Claire. If not now, a little bit more down the line. And I've also got to start thinking about the conflict between Myrta.
That's
what?
the face.
Oh yeah, no. It's between Myrta and Jamie, and how this is all going to transpire. I feel like they brought in Stephen Bonnet early because they want to get to some Bonnet stuff earlier. And perhaps I've kind of done I have to like reverse my take on this. Or I have to do a 180 take. I think the Bonnet stuff is going to happen sooner, and the regulator stuff is going to happen a little bit later.
You're switching it up.
I think, because you know they're getting everybody ready to go to battle, and they're getting everybody ready to confront the regulators, and I feel like there's going to be this big thing. There's going to be this big to do, and knowing history, and since we did the history of the regulators podcast, knowing that there was this big build up, and then all of a sudden it kind of went away, and then all of a sudden it was the Battle of Alamance. So that's what I feel like is going to happen. Something along the lines of there's going to be a big buildup, and everyone's going to go home, and then they're going to handle the Stephen Bonnet stuff, and then it may be concluded with the Battle of Alamance and like maybe the after effects of that. That's probably where I'm at with that.
Interesting.
You
Can everyone on Facebook Live give a good interesting for that?
All right, I'll take it.
Mock me.
Please hang up and try again.
All right, Marvin, final thoughts for this episode.
My final thoughts are that I am excited to revisit this episode when I have a better stomach for things. Because I really do. I think it was exceptional in so many ways. It's just me and my like weak stomach of thinking about smells. But it was a great episode. It was fun. It was different.
It was genuinely scary when Claire was walking up those stairs
Oh my God.
with the candelabra or whatever it is. Like
Claire.
it was Walking Dead.
Claire
I know I
makes
said it
some
100
serious choices through
times.
her
Man,
life.
Claire, she just always running into stuff, and Jamie needs the reunion rule.
No, stop.
Jamie needs the reunion rule.
Okay.
And for those of you,
No, we don't need to delve into
I'm
the
not going to delve into.
reunion
I'm
rule
just
right
going to
now.
say when Mary does something that she really shouldn't be doing, I call the reunion rule, and
Correct.
we'll get into it later. But Jamie needs the reunion rule,
Okay.
and that's like, man, come on, Claire, you got to be smarter than that. Just walking up the stairs, and
She's like, that smells like feces and blood.
yeah, like,
Gonna go
I know
check
that
it out.
smell. Either someone's dying or they have a really bad case of diverticulitis. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I know diverticulitis.
Okay. So, on that note.
Yes, that's that. Are you ready to close this bad boy out?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
So you've been listening to this podcast, and most likely you've been listening to it on some kind of a device, your laptop, your phone. While you're there, if you wouldn't mind doing us a favor, if you could head to your podcast app of choice and leave us a written review, that would be exceptional. What this does is it allows other Outlander fans to get to know us. So if it's in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever it is, leave us a written review. We want to thank GSP349, who wrote, "Marvelous." Thanks, Mary and Blake, for helping me stretch my obsession of Outlander into the week past Sunday. I discovered Outlander and your podcast this past summer, and I've been an Obsassenac ever since. I love listening to you guys in the morning while I sip my coffee and get ready for work. Knowing that I have your podcast to listen to during the week eases the pain of knowing I can't binge watch the season like I did the first 4 seasons. Keep up the great work, guys. I look forward to following along episode by episode.
Oh, thank you.
Je suis prêt.
And for those of you who are watching live, and actually for all the podcast listeners and even people on YouTube, do know that right after we record this episode, we will be doing an After Dark episode, which is a very special episode with Mary and Blake about all things that are happening in Mary and Blake's life, which also happens to be about Outlander as well. So if you want to be part of the After Dark episode, you can come watch us. You just have to be a member of OutlanderCastClan.com. You have to be an official Outlander Cast Clan member. And if you join it at the $5 level, you get access to not only future After Dark episodes, but the entire backlog as well. You get to watch how our studio has evolved over time and all of the crazy things that are happening in Mary and I's life. So go to OutlanderCastClan.com. And if you want to help out the show, you want to support your favorite couple on this planet, except for, obviously yourself if you're married or whatever, you can do that. Go to OutlanderCastClan.com and
Enjoy the
help
clan.
a brother out. Help a brother out.
It's like when you support your local PBS station, except
Yes.
it's 2 jabronis in Rhode Island. So thank you. We want to especially thank our most generous patrons, our associate producers, Angie, Carolyn, Celine, Dawn, Diane, Jeffrey, Jennifer, Marilyn, Maureen, Patricia, Siobhan, Valerie, and our co-producers, Amanda, Ann Lee, Barbara, Dana, Janet, Keelan, Lori Ellen, Marianne, Meredith, Reynolds, Sharon, Tina, and Whitney. And last but not least, our executive producers, Ann, Bobby, D, Jen, Katie, Kirsty, Martha, Nadra, Peg, and Sarah. And don't forget, friends, we are going to be having our listener feedback episode recorded Thursday night of this week. So make sure if you'd like to tune in live in the Outlander Cast Clan gathering on Facebook to be there. So make sure you join if you are not already a member of our Facebook group.
That's right. And make sure also you just check us out on all of the social media, just whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of it, YouTube. Just look up Mary and Blake. We are there. We're ready to have a conversation with you. We're ready to talk some Outlander and all the other cool stuff that we got going on, like our Hamilton podcast, our Crown podcast, the Gilmore Girls, Game of Thrones. We got so much stuff going on there. It's great. So be part of that conversation. Go to maryandblake.com. Check out all the podcasts and blogs that we have there. Marvin, you got anything else?
When are we announcing our ticket sales and everything for the finale party?
We can't do that. We can't do that until
we get the official
the
word.
official word from our venue. Like we're like 99.6% there with the venue, but I haven't signed papers yet. So
Okay.
once I sign the papers,
Then the party is gonna be planned.
it's going to be
going.
happening. It's
Okay.
happening, ladies and gentlemen.
All
It's
right.
happening at the really cool place in Providence. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss out hanging with all the nerds.
That's
like,
right.
All the nerds are just
Meaning
awesome.
us and our friends.
Yeah, all the Outlander nerds, like it's just awesome. You just get to geek out about Outlander stuff and have fun. So Mary's giving me a signal to shut up. So I got to shut up.
All right, friends. So for now, my name is Mary.
My name's Blake.
And you've been listening to Outlander Cast. All right. Blake's going to get things ready to go for After Dark. So those of you who are a member of our Patreon community at OutlanderCastClan.com, head on over there in about, 3 minutes? I'm going to go pay the babysitter.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who are watching right now and have been part of the After Dark shows, do know that I messed up the settings on the last couple. So they have been messed up. But for those of you who are absolutely, you're members and you want to watch it, you will be able to watch it, the After Dark show, right away. So we're going to get some stuff ready here, and that is that. I feel like, somebody here did say, I feel like we didn't talk. Rebecca says, I feel like we didn't talk about everything. Yes. I feel like we didn't talk about everything. And Angela said this episode went fast. Yes, it did. That episode hit an hour and 5 minutes very quickly. So, that's the beauty of listener feedback episodes. Something that we missed, something that we didn't get a chance to talk about, we can talk about it then. So make sure you join us for the listener feedback episodes every Wednesday or Thursday, because those not only are they is it a good time to talk about some of the things that we missed, they also are my favorite episodes, just because it's so much fun, man. It's just so much fun. So very fast. It is what it is. So, yes, hopefully After Dark will work tonight. That's what I'm hoping, ladies and gents. In the meantime, see you next week. Oh, no, not next week. I will see you on Thursday for the listener feedback episode. All right, bye, guys.